Today's video is not an easy fix. It's not the quickest way to get across the finish line. It's not going to get you your fastest time, but it is how you can go from couch to 50K, from inactivity to accomplishing something amazing, from ordinary to extraordinary and uncommon. Stay tuned. If you are committed to starting down the path to become uncommon, unbreakable, and extraordinary, then go ahead and like and subscribe, because here we train Spartan and we train for life. And if you'd like the quickest way or the most effective way to start your day off right, then go ahead and click the link in the description below. It will take you to a free download of the 12-page guide of how to start your day Spartan. To go from a couch to 50K, there are really only two things that you need to be able to do. And one of them is you have to be able to conquer your mind. Even more important than training your legs and getting yourself physically ready is getting yourself mentally ready to do something that probably seems beyond your capabilities and way beyond what you're comfortable doing right now. And so before you watch this video, because this video is about the physical training, you need to go and watch the how to train mentally, or how to get yourself mentally ready and conquer your mind to be able to finish a 50K for the first time. And again, if you haven't watched that yet, please go and watch that right now, because that is key. Without that, without your mind, you are not going to be able to do this, or you're going to have an extremely, extremely hard time doing this until you figure out on your own how to conquer your mind when things get hard. But the only other thing you need to do, the second thing, and this is really it for today's training video, is you have to be able to endure and go the distance. You have to train for time. So many of us, when we get into running or training something else, we get focused on the number, on what is the distance I'm going to go today, what is my, the mileage that I need to get for this week. And when you're doing something like this, something extremely hard that you may not be physically ready for yet, then you have to flip that script. You have to be able to endure to train for time. The Spartans were all about endurance, about being able to outlast their opponents. And it is the same for you. If you are going to defeat this race, this virtual 50K, or if it's a real 50K in 50 days, you have to be able to outlast the mileage. And it is not about speed. If you're looking for a speed video on how to get your fastest 50K ever, become the fastest 50K runner in the world, then you need to go look somewhere else, because that is not what this video is. This video is to get you off your couch and across the 50K finish line in 50 days. And to do that, unless you've been extremely well trained for your whole life on running ultra distances, then your goal is to just simply outlast the distance. How do you do that? By training yourself physically and mentally to go the time that it needs to get there. Think about it this way. Can you walk 2 to 3 miles an hour? It's not very fast. I would say just about anybody that can physically get up and walk can walk for at least 10, 20, 30, 45 minutes right now, regardless of your fitness level, by just getting up and walking to 2 to 3 miles an hour. And that, if you think about it, is 30-minute miles to 20-minute miles. And it shouldn't be that hard to get yourself to that point to be able to do that. And so if you think about it, if you can go, 2 miles an hour or 3 miles an hour, then all you have to do is be able to outlast the distance by going the time. And so that's going to take you, 10 to 16 hours to be able to complete this. And that may seem ridiculous, because most of you, if you're watching this, probably have never gone for more than maybe an hour or two on your longest walk or hike. But that is why, again, if you haven't watched the video yet, go and watch the video, because you have to train your mind. If this sounds impossible, go watch that video again and again. Once you conquer this, the world is open up to you. And I've done races where I was on my feet for over 30 hours. Yes, I trained to get to that point. But the biggest training that I needed was up here. It was not my legs. When I quit my race that about broke me, it wasn't because my legs were tired. It was because I gave up in my mind. You have to be able to mentally visualize yourself doing this. If you can do that, then all you have to do is just keep putting one foot in front of the other until you cross the finish line. So if you think about it, 50 days, is just over 7 weeks. It's going to be, 7 weeks and 1 day. Sorry, it's really early in the morning right now. We're getting ready to fly to Texas to visit a buddy. But 7 weeks and 1 day. So if you train for 7 weeks and 1 day, take a couple of rest days, then run your 50K, or I guess accomplish your 50K. You're probably not going to be running most of this. What you want to do is you want to slowly build up to the end of week 5, beginning of week 6. You get your longest long walk. I don't recommend running unless, again, you've been training a lot, in which case you probably don't really need this. But you want to get your longest long walk in end of week 5, beginning of week 6, so you can kind of taper down and get ready for the 50K. And if you can push yourself to just walk 3 miles an hour, that's 20-minute miles, you want to shoot for a goal of being able to last 10 to 12 hours. And so end of week 5, week 6, you want your target to be about 6 to 8 hours. So you've gone, a good chunk of the time, again, not the distance, you've got a good chunk of the time that you're going to need to finish this race. And so for the first week, a couple of tips that I would do to get you through the training for 50 days to 50K is I would start out the first week, maybe even 2, only walking, no jogging, just walk. Get your body used to being on your feet that long. Unless you do a lot of walking right now, you want to be able to get ready to walk 30 minutes to an hour every single day of the week. Because that is what it's going to take to build up your mental endurance and your walking endurance to get across that finish line. Walking is so much easier on the legs and on the knees than running is. And if you start out and push yourself and try and David Goggins your way through this, you're probably going to end up with an injury. Almost every runner who's ever run has had some sort of injury, whether it's plantar fasciitis, patellofemoral syndrome, shin splints, stress fractures. There are a multitude of injuries that you can get by overtraining or doing too much too fast. And so really, this race should be for you a significant challenge, and it shouldn't matter to you how fast you can complete it in. The fact that you can go from, couch to 50K, or maybe your furthest run is like a half a marathon or a 10K or a 5K, being able to go, more than twice what you've ever done before is a huge accomplishment. So go for time, not speed. And as you're training, you can start to add jogging. So after the first, 1 to 2 weeks, maybe twice a week, do jogging, 5 to 10 minute periods of jogging during some of your walks. And that'll allow you to add a little bit of speed, get a little bit of extra exercise, go a little bit further in the time that you're out there training. But again, you don't want to overdo it unless you've got, months or years that you've been practicing running and jogging. Otherwise, it's just going to be too much. And you're going to end up with an injury that's going to sideline you. Now, as you're going along, what you want to do is similar. If you've ever looked at like a half marathon training plan, 5K, 10K, marathon, you're going to slowly build up the distance on those plans over time. What we're going to do with this plan is you're going to increase your total time that you're going each week. And now for most daily runs, walks, most daily training walks, you can probably go, 30 to 45 minutes, maybe build up to an hour a day. But when you have your long walk, your long training session, you want to do that once a week. And, if you can start out maybe an hour and a half that first week, and then build up, maybe an hour or so each week after that. So on, Saturday, Sunday, Friday, whatever day works best for you, you want to build in a long training period. And again, this one you want to go super easy. You want to be able to make sure that you can go the time so that by week 5, week 6, you want to be hitting, 6 to 8 hour training session, 6 to 8 hour walk. And that should get you, a significant amount of mileage, maybe 20 miles or more, a week and a half before you do the big run or the big, 50K. And then after you do that, that last week, you want to kind of taper back down. So if you do that long walk in week 5, I guess you can taper down in week 6, week 7. If you do it week 6, week 7 is just going to be really kind of just to keep the legs loose, to let you know that that you can do this, but you want to take it easy, maybe a 3-hour run, or not a 3-hour run, maybe do like a 3-hour walk, 3-hour training session that last week before you do your 50K. And what this allows you to do is go from, having minimal training to accomplishing something massive. And what that does for your mind is huge. This will let you know that you can do things that you thought were all, like previously impossible before. You would have never imagined that you could do that. Again, this is not about speed. This is about accomplishing something huge. It doesn't matter if you can run a 50K in 4 hours or if you have to walk it in 12. You have still covered the same amount of distance as someone else who has done it quicker. So it does not matter your pace. It does not matter on your speed. What matters is that you can get yourself healthy across that finish line, because once you do this, the possibilities that open up on what you think and what you now know you can do are almost limitless, as long as you've got a plan to get yourself there. So, get out there, train hard, stay hard, be hard with your mind. When you're doing these long walks, it's going to be mentally challenging being out there for 3, 4, 6, 8 hours at a time. But if you can push through that, you will be able to accomplish something massive that less than 0.5% of the United States, the population has ever done. You will be unique, you will be uncommon, and you will accomplish something, that is amazing. So get out there, believe in yourself. You can do this. If you believe that you can, I promise you, you will find a way. And if you fall short, you will still have gone further than you've ever gone before in your life. And it will, again, open those possibilities. So train smart, train hard, and train Spartan. We'll see you next time.